Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a disassembly and maintenance video for you on this little guy. This is a Spyderco Dragonfly 2 in ZDP 189 steel. This is a heck of a knife. First off, I'm sorry, I gotta say, as with any Spyderco, technically disassembling the knife voids the warranty. They don't tend to be too dickish about it, but nonetheless, it's something you gotta keep in mind and worry about. It's a heck of a knife, and actually this video is prompted by a viewer who I'm, not going to name, but he shot me a message on the Instagram saying, Nick, I took apart my Dragonfly. I'm having trouble. Do you have a video? No, I don't, but I should. So here we go. Pardon me. Let's go on ahead and disassemble this little guy here. I'm using a Torx bit here, a Torx T8, to take it apart. Let's see, get the pivot out of there. Oh, come on, you little bugger. This guy might be pretty annoying. I did this once before, as I recall, but it's been a little while. And the reason I say it might be annoying is that the Delica is a great knife, but it's really annoying to take apart. You get through it, you'll make it, but it's not stellar in that way. So there you go. Pivot-wise, I've taken out this back screw here, which also holds the clip together. And pivot-wise, you'll see that there is a black plastic piece that's under here, and that goes with this pivot screw. If it wants to stay there, I'll let it stay there, but there's one matching on the other side. You just got to keep that in mind here. And then finally, I got to unscrew that little chunk right there. That was T8. That looks like it's going to be T6, so let's go ahead and do that. Pop this guy out. There we go. I'm sitting here already. I've been filming today a fair amount, and, I got the message, and it's just like, I'm happy to help. I don't promise that to anybody by any stretch of the imagination, so don't feel like I'm, your personal disassembly servant or anything like that. But at the same time, if I can help somebody, I usually want to. I'm using a little oiler tool here to push these parts through, if I can. There we go. Pop the pivot through. That's that. And now we've got this little guy here. That's not one chunk of plastic, is it? Is this an integral? I mean, integral doesn't usually count when it's plastic, but, honestly, yeah, it does appear to be. I think I took this guy apart once way back when, but I haven't done it in a while, so I'm going to be learning with you guys here. So, there we go. We've got, okay, this little chunk came off the pivot side here. In terms of washers, I'm sure not seeing much. There might be washers on the inside there. Okay, next step is going to be to try and pop this lock bar out. And there we go. That's popped out. Now the lock bar is in position, and there went the lock bar spring. And yeah, this is in fact just one solid chunk of FRN, which also means, by the way, that we could have not removed the clip here if you felt that need. I'm still curious about the washer situation here, because I'm not really seeing any washers whatsoever. Oh, it's a plastic knife. It's FRN. It doesn't freaking need any washers. Okay, problem solved, case closed. So, there we go. The knife is now disassembled, and there's relatively little to it. I mean, if we take a look at what we got on the table here, we've got the clip screw arrangement over here, which allows the clip to be flipped to either side. You've got the blade. You've got the pivot. You've got this back spacer screw, which also holds your back lock. You've got your back lock spring and your back lock itself. And there you go. Case closed, problem solved. However, this could be a pain in the neck to put back together. We're going to see. We're going to find out together. Oh, the Dragonfly. A great knife. Really is. It's my go-to whenever somebody says, Nick, I need a knife for my, younger person in my life, a niece, nephew, son, daughter. I don't have kids. What the heck do I know? But at the same time, this seems like a pretty compelling choice in that situation. It's not so big or scary. It's very secure in the lockup. Secure in the hand. I don't know. It's also a great knife for travel, because it's going to be legal in a lot of places. And it's pretty easy to carry around unobtrusively, slip it into the pocket, no problem. I lost mine when traveling. There's a video about that, and then some gem of a viewer sent me a what felt like brand new one. They refused to take money for it. So for me, in my mind, this knife will forever be a reminder of how awesome my viewers are. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this guy off here. That's just the exterior thing. Clean this, doesn't need to be cleaned. Let's be real here. Clean this guy and this guy. And there we go. I think we're good to go here. So, a couple of complications potentially here. If we look closely, I don't know if I'm going to be able to capture this whatsoever, and my flashlight that's usually on the table is currently charging. Well, at least the battery is over there. But at the very least, inside here, there is a little groove. And that little groove holds this little lock bar spring. And I'm trying to remember exactly which way that went in. But the thing is, it went in this way. With this little elbow curve thing up. And if that's the wrong answer, I'm going to find it out very quickly here because, well, the knife won't go back together, right? So the shorter of the arms with the more severe angle, I believe, is going to go up and face the blade. So I'm dropping that spring in there, and I'm just going to use this is a watch spring bar tool, but I use it all the damn time in disassembly. I'm just going to use that to kind of put that home. Since this has no washers, we can go ahead and, well, actually, no, we're not going to go ahead and do that yet. I was going to say we can put the blade in first, but I think our best bet here is actually going to be to put the lock bar in first and then put in the blade. Now, I'm wondering very much which one of these two is the blade pivot and which one of these is the backspacer. And I don't know that it actually matters, but I want to take a close look here. What I'm actually looking for are signs of circular wear, which you would expect to see much more strongly on the pivot. Yeah, I believe this guy's going to be for the backspacer. You'll also see that these are D-shaped here. And so I got to look and find the D-shaped side. There we go. Pop that through. And just pop this guy through. These knives are a lot more straightforward to maintain when you are able to fully disassemble them and kind of stack things. But we're going to make this happen. We're going to make this work. Now, I just lost which one I thought. Okay. Calling this guy the backspacer. I'm going to put a little bit of, whoa there, lubrication up on top of it here. Not because it's super, super crucial, but because it's not a bad idea. These guys always will like to run a little bit lubricated. And I want to make sure that yeah. Okay, so that'll pop in there. Next step is actually going to be I need to pop it back through again in such a way that I can effectively kind of place there that went. Lubricate the inside of the lock bar, back lock bar here. Is this called the lock bar? I mean, it's the bar that does the locking, so I guess it's a lock bar, but lock bar really seems to mean something else most of the time. Anyways, I'm lubricating that doohickey right here a little bit, and then I'm going to position it so that I can go ahead and drop this guy back through. There we go. Okay, the action feels about right in terms of tension and whatnot. So I believe that I do, in fact, have the spring mounted incorrectly, which is nice. This next part's going to be... it's going to be trouble. Let's be real here. I'm actually going to use Rob the Apostle P's trick here. I don't think it's strictly speaking necessary, but here we go. For a backlock knife, sometimes it's useful to have the backlock up out of the way. And on this knife, I think that's going to be the case. So what I'm going to do is use a basic plastic zip tie here. It's acting a little strange. And I'm going to use that zip tie to compress the back lock down, to basically perma lock it for the moment. Come on. Such that the blade is basically able to get out of my way. I'm sorry, the lock bar is able to get out of my way as I insert the blade. I don't know that I've got enough tension on there, but it'll at the very least help me out a little bit. Next step here is going to be to pop the blade back in. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate the sides of the blade here because they just rub against the plastic. And so that'll do. I'm also going to go ahead and lubricate the inside of the pivot there. And figure that'll be a proxy. There we go. Excellent. Now, I need to reinsert this little washer guy. That could be what's missing. It's very easy for this to fall out and for you to forget about it. It looks like it's got a round side and a flat side, so we'll put the round side out. Then I'm going to go ahead and toss the pivot right through here. And since I lubricated the inside of the blade, oh, the zip tie trick. Oh, Rob. That was a beautiful thing you taught me there. Anyways, since the inside of the blade hole was lubricated already, I don't need to worry too much about additional lube. So, problem solved. Next step is going to be to go ahead and, oh, what the heck, I'll put in the back lock screw first. Because that's the driver that's on the bed, I'm going to use a little bit of your blue Loctite here. Pop that in. Oh. Go home, you little bugger. There we go. Just pop that in. Doesn't need to be super tight right now. That's okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and pop in the pivot screw here. For that, I switched to a Torx. Was it T8 or T10? I'm about to find out. T8. T10 was on my table from the last knife I just disassembled. Doesn't seem right. Is that right? Yeah, no, that's the right screw. I was just wanting to make sure I wasn't mixing up the screw for the clip and the pivot here. I put some Loctite on that screw. I'm going to tighten that down. Beautiful. So that's good. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break this zip tie. One of my very favorite methods for non-destructively breaking a zip tie, well, you're destroying the zip tie, but you don't destroy anything else, is actually to use a pair of pliers and just twist. Grab the zip tie and twist, and that tends to solve your problem here. Okay, the action on this knife is now fine. It could, yeah, I'll loosen the pivot just a little bit here. I'm going to loosen it a little more. No side-to-side play. There we go. And it more or less falls shut. And a little bit of side-to-side play. Tighten it up a little more. There we go. There we go. See, that's just nice. Okay, now finally I'm going to stash the blade, and I'm going to put the clip back on. I just got to remember which side the clip goes on for me, so this goes here. You don't need to lubricate this little thing, because it just sits in the plastic. Oh, you bugger. Try it again. There we go. And tip/trick I picked up for getting these wire clips in there is that you should use the clip itself to hold the clip screw. Apply a little Loctite there. The reason you do that is it's a pain in the neck to insert that screw after the fact. So if it's already in there when you put the clip down, you're in a world of, well, benefit. Come on. I don't know that that's actually done in there. That's because the backside fell out. Hey! Hashtag not a brilliant man. So, let's try this one more time with feeling. Now it's screwing into something. Now I'm just going to tighten, 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 tighten. Get everything locked down. Keep tightening. Clip is not going anywhere. No blade play. Final step on any backlock knife, in my personal humble, not so humble opinion here, is that you put a little bit of a thicker lubrication on the tang of the blade. I'm going to use 85 weight nano oil as opposed to the 10 weight I was using. So I'm just going to put a little tiny drip right up in here. And basically all that serves to do is to lubricate the movement of the lock bar across the back of the knife. Just smooths things out in general, especially on the deploy. And that's something you can redo every so often. Makes life a little easier. Oh yeah, that was great. That was straightforward. And hopefully that'll help. I don't know, viewer, what your where you ran into troubles. If I had to bet, it's probably this washer, because if that washer's loose, you're going to have a bad time. But hopefully this is of use to you. And, well, I hope you and, frankly, everybody else who watched this, well, yeah, you should all have a pretty wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.